Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again. Now, first of all, before I start this video, I got a little ditty here. Again, a obscure slasher movie from the 80s. Like I said, one of my missions is to find as much slasher movies for the slasher fan between in the golden era of slashers between 1980 and 89. I'll probably do some 70 ones from the 70s, from the 90s, and maybe a little over 2000, like the new Scream movie that's coming out. I did all the Scream movies. I'm gonna do 7 because 7 has Matthew Lillard coming back, Stu fucking Marker, even the killer of Part 3, Roman, who's dead, is gonna be a flat. I did a video on this already. I know he's coming back. As it started with Sydney and one of the OG killers, it will end with Sydney and one of the OG killers. There you go. That's my premonition. Now this one is called Ghost Dance from 1982. Before I start, like the damn video. It gives me a form of appreciation from you guys. Subscribe if you haven't. It's free. No worries. It's a badge of honor. And comment, fun comments, critique, doesn't matter. Got a thick skin. So, The Ghost Dance from 1982, a Native American slasher movie. There's another one called Scallops. I'll probably review that one too. It's a little bit, the acting is a little bit less in that, but it gets a 4 out of 10. That's for later. I'm gonna do that one because it actually has some charm to it. This one gets 4.5 out of 10, but I'm giving it a 5. It's definitely worth a watch. Yes, directed by a guy named Peter F. Buffer. Never heard of him. Now, in terms of actors, I don't know most of them, so I'm just gonna say the people who are in there. Now, what happens is, basically, the white men, the university wants to excavate. They excavate, and the elders, Indian elders, say it's okay. So they find this corpse that's buried upside down, and there is a reason for that. Now there's this bum Indian who doesn't want to work for a living, but he finds this pouch underneath the grave. He surpasses the guards, and he takes that, and he's doing this ritual with a white band around his head, and he's doing this ritual because he believes that the body that there was lying there was called Nahala or Nalhala. I'm gonna say Nahala. That sounds cooler, right? Now this guy, so he thinks he's gonna get powers from him. What happens is he gets possessed by this guy, so he becomes a killer Indian, Native American Indian, a killer Indian, and he also wants. So what happened is, and I'm not sure if this is historically correct, late 1800s, most of the white men killed all the Indians. They had little reservations left, and that's it. And the Indian Native Americans had this thing called the ghost dance, and they wanted to sort of to mingle in with the white men. They wanted to perform Christianity. So what they did, but they still wanted to have their own roots of Native Americanism, right? And so what they did was, like, for example, you got a guy here is called Tom Eagle. Now, Tom, but he's short for Thomas. Now his name could have been like Tahala Eagle. So what they did was they gave the Indians a Christian first name, but they kept their Indian name at the end, like Eagle, Hawk, Shanks, whatever. It's all those people, Native Americans, got a Christian name. If this is true, I'm not sure. I'm not really historically in history buff on that part of American history, but one guy who was supposed to call, they never say his last name, was supposed to be called Nathan. That was Valhalla, Nathan. He said, fuck you, white men kill us, I'm gonna start my own cult. So he started his own thing. He did freaky shit. He started to kill people. He started a murder spree, and to, you know, give a big ass middle finger to the white men. He had powers that he could, through magic, through spells, basically took a white woman under his spell, and she became a part of his killing spree. They became a killing spree duo until he got caught, to prison, and died and buried upside down. So he never could, you know, this black magic and shit. So, and that's where the movie starts sort of based on. So you got this killer Indian, possessed Indian called Valhalla. First thing he does, he goes home, he cuts the throat of his wife, and every morning there's this young Native American girl comes to clean the place up, and I think he also could shapeshift or have influence over animals, because he sicks this Rottweiler on her, and she bites her throat out, her hands, and it's a pretty gruesome scene, especially as a young girl, and this dog really goes straight to the jugular. So we already have 2 kills. There's not a lot of kills in this movie, but the kills that we have are pretty gruesome. Now our main character is called Dr. Kay Foster. She's also in charge of the excavation, and her boyfriend is Tom Eagle. Now Tom Eagle doesn't want to be part of that magic, and he calls it shit, and he's like a corporate guy now, you know, with a suit. There's his hair cut off. All these Native Americans still have their long hair. It's like it's still their side of their heritage, I guess. Now after all this happens, we go to a scene in a museum where you've got, I think it's the most it's on a university, and it's the most non-secure museum in the world, in my opinion. So first of all, you see these urns and all these relics that are pretty expensive probably, and you hear like chick 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 chick, and I think, oh my dear fuck, you are kidding me. Yes, I'm they're going that way. They're fucking in a horse carriage. You see the horse carriage going like this. Now I think they didn't went to complete was the first base, what's it called, first base penetration, because they still had their clothes on, because they heard somebody getting in. They go out. Now this woman works there in the museum, and she brought her boyfriend in there to have a good time in a fucking horse carriage, of course without the horses. Now luckily for her, she does get penetrated by Valhalla with a spear. So there you go. Then the other guy, he slashes through his face like this, and the guy falls in this big glass display case, and then these shards of glass are penetrating him, and then to make it worse, Valhalla pushes the glass straight into his stomach. So that's a pretty gory kill. Two gory kills, probably the goriest kills of the movie. There's the spear through the chest, and then with the glass shards, and the slice in his face, and then Now, like I said, this is the most insecure. I mean, insecure. I mean, the most. There's no security. There is security, but there's this girl. She's this little Native American girl that also does the cleanup, you know, for this other guy called, I think his name was Ocasio. He's an Indian sorcerer. Now I think he asks of her to go to the coroner's room and take a piece of Nahala's body cadaver. Now it's weird because his face is like mummified, like it's completely white. It's not a skeleton. So she can just wander in rooms where you can that should normally these days would be with like a key pass or something or with a key. No, yeah, let's just go. Oh, I'll take an like an urn that's worth 10,000 grand or something with me. I mean, it's one of the most less secured places in the world that I ever seen. A museum with so many rich artifacts. But okay, she takes a piece of it. In the meantime, Valhalla is trying to sort of make Kay the his partner in crime. So he's trying to so constantly trying to get into her mind. And this one night when Tom Eagle is in her house, she's standing there, takes a knife, and just in time, Tom Eagle says, "Well, it's all everything okay?" And she snaps out of it, and Nahala fails, but he keeps going after her. There's a point where he eventually gets to her. And yeah, one guy where she works with, Bob, she works with, he finds something out in a book. He found something out in a book and about the cadaver, and he wanted to go and he called K, Dr. K Foster, to say that he has important information. Of course, you know the drill. Valhalla is there. He's gonna kill him. He can run away, but Valhalla uses his. Of course, he has a knife. He knows how to throw a knife straight to the head. Boom, the guy's dead. Now, Tom Eagle first doesn't believe shit, but after a while he starts to believe things because she has pictures, she has these books, and okay, let's go. I know a guy. He's a say he's a sorcerer. Maybe he can help us. So the entire movie he comes into play and he's making these. I think of the pieces of Valhalla, he's making these like voodoo dolls and putting them in the fire, maybe to protect some people. I'm not sure why, because it doesn't really hurt him. He so at some point, okay, they go to this sorcerer and he says, okay, if you want your woman to be safe, come tomorrow at the first daylight, and we will handle this. But you have to bring me the pouch, a pouch that is a hand big. So, so first of all, okay, Doc K goes back to the university. Her plan, she had to burn the body, the cadaver, right? That was the deal, and that pouch. He needed that pouch to burn, and then Nahala's embodied spirit would burn, and the cadaver would burn. So everything would burn. He's dead. Now what happens is she goes to the university, she goes take a look at the cadaver. Now of course who's laying there is Bob with a knife to him in the back of his fucking head. So Nahala is standing there, and he grabs her and he punches through his cadaver to take this trinket, this necklace. He puts on her. She is now completely, she's like now one of his minions. Now the thing is, so he got his partner in crime eventually, his white woman. Now the thing is that spoilers now, of course, for people who don't want to see. Like I said, this movie is entertaining. It gives you it's not boring. It's not a lot of kills, but the kills you get are pretty gruesome, pretty gory. A few standard ones, but it's a good story. It's a good story, and you've got creepy moments, a lot of dark moments. Sometimes too dark that you don't see things, but Most of the times you do see things. The kills you see, that's something, right? And the acting is pretty good. The acting is pretty good. Yeah, everybody does a good acting job. Now, okay, so she's now possessed. Now Tom Eagle first, he because he went with her, but he locked himself out. So whoop de fucking do. There is a lock in this. So okay, he calls campus security. He lets himself in. Now he wants to take Kay to the house. The house where the pouch is the house of the bum Indian that I said who killed his wife. And he gets to Kay and she doesn't want to go. She says, "Leave me alone," and she takes a phone and clonks him in the face. So she's already possessed now. So he knows now, okay, I have to go to that house first, get that pouch, because the sorcerer is probably not in danger too, because there were two now. And he goes to this house that he doesn't know who this guy is. He finds a dead body of the wife rotting on the floor. How in the hell can you find something like a pouch that's hand big? It's like, okay. And by sheer luck, he stands on this stone that's a little bit loose. He's underneath, and he has the pouch. Now Kay attacks him from the back, but he can knock her off. He goes to the sorcerer. Now, meanwhile, Valhalla is trying to kill the sorcerer, but the sorcerer does this weird shit with, like I said, he uses these pieces of him and to tie something like a voodoo doll. He puts it in fire, and every time he's like going back, and then he does this weird thing with his voice like this, the sorcerer, and he's like, oh, and every time he throws it in, he starts to burn, and Valhalla, and he's doing that noise like a cat that's, you know, hissing, a hissing cat. Eventually, Tom Eagle gets in there. The sorcerer asks for the pouch, but Valhalla, in the fetus position on the ground, stabs the sorcerer deadly, but he throws just in the nick of time. He wraps it around his doll and put it on the fire, and Valhalla is burning in front of us. The embodied Valhalla. Still the cadaver, right? Now, he saw when Kay, before he clonked him, he saw what's that necklace, and then she clonks him. Okay, so he knows something's wrong with that necklace, right? It's an Indian necklace. Now, she's standing there, Kay, like looking like a sad puppy when she sees Valhalla burning, and he hugs her. It's okay, Kay. It's okay. It's over. Let's go to the museum and destroy that fucking body. Now, if he just took off the fucking trinket, she would have been relieved, you know? No. What does he, keep that trinket on, it looks good on you. He goes to the fucking museum, he puts ether on the body, takes a lighter, and apparently the body is still alive with the spirit. You see this skeleton-ish hand taking his wrist, and then you see Kay like with a scalpel, like, ah! And then you see the museum from the outside, so like, and then you hear a scream of Eagle, ah! And the movie ends. So it's a downer ending. Basically, Valhalla still lives, and Kay is still under his possession. Taking that fucking trinket off. No, let's just put it on. It looks good on you. You look sexy. You look sexy. So the cons are, of course, the stupid necklace. Why didn't he take it off? It was clear that she wasn't there yet in that cave with the sorcerer. I mean, I sort of felt sorry for the sorcerer. They carried him in there, you know, but and that's the only con that I had, you know. They just had to stay together. why this guy, so the reason why the door locks when he's going, but he stays outside, so he should have gone in there with her, and a student comes to give books back for Bob, and he'll will give them because the museum is closed, and then the door shuts, and he's waiting there like for 15-20 fucking minutes until the security arrives. Like I said, shit security, but oh my god, the door closes. Okay, that's something. There's no alarm. Okay, so if you ever want to steal some shit, go to that museum. Where the fuck? I think in Arizona or something. In Arizona was that. Now, if historically that was correct, that they got like Christian names, but the last names were still Native American names, that's maybe historically correct. Maybe not in that way with the ghost dance, but in any case, the movie has an intriguing story. It has good acting. It has a few gory kills. The Nalhala possessed man, the bum, he looks intimidating. He has this resting face like this with super open eyes and this mouth like, and yeah, it's an intimidating killer. And it's also nice to learn a little bit about those Native Americans, if it's true or not, I don't know. Also, you have a now I may be wrong that the sorcerer's name was Ocasio. There's all these names, you know, but I think so. Now, who do you have in there is a small cameo as one of the excavators, the Native American excavators who are, you know, digging for, you know, urns and shit like arrowheads, and is Don Shanks. Now, a lot of people who say, who, what? Don Shanks played Michael Myers in one of the Halloween movies. Now, he played Michael Myers in the worst Halloween movie, I think, of the bunch, Halloween 5. Now, yeah, Don Shanks. So, with that long Indian hair, he played Michael Myers underneath that mask. So there's a little fact, but he's just shown for a small. He plays in another movie also this Native American who's like a bodyguard for an older Native American, because Don Shanks was a pretty muscular dude, big and muscular. You see him a lot of times at Comic Cons and shit like that, and you know, signing in. All Nick Castle, and then Dick Warlock, who played Michael Myers in Halloween 2, Nick Castle in Halloween 1. You got a lot of the Michael Myers guys, and you can collect them all and basically buy the mask of the movie, of the same movie, the shitty masks too, and then let it be signed. That's cool. I would like that. In any case, this movie really deserves a watch. It's a obscure one. It's a little hidden gem. For a 5 out of 10, it's definitely worth a watch. So if you liked it, like I said, like the video, and you know, subscribe for more obscure movies. Who knows what I can find? And see you later. Bye.